So Jumi, this one I added the width and height, and this one I added the width and height, added a border also. Okay, I added a border here too, then added a padding here too. Now, if I comment out this padding, it's going to be the same thing, right? Then if I add a padding to it, it becomes bigger than this one, right? Now, what it's doing now is this 30 pixel, like I said, the left and right now is 60, right? If you add it to this width, it will be 360 width. You also add the 5 pixel for left and right, it will be 10, that's 370. So it's giving us a width of 370 in total instead of 300. That's why it's shooting out like this, more than this first one, okay? But we don't want it to happen, but we still want our padding to occur, all right? So instead of giving us 370 now, it will accommodate the padding left and right, which is 60, the border left and right, which is 10, making it 70 now, the border and the padding. Now, coming to width now, it will do a subtraction of, let's say, 70, okay? Maybe give us 230 pixel, then add the border and the padding, making it 300 again. That's what the box sizing does for us. I don't know if it's much clearer now, Jimmy. That's what the box sizing does for us. Okay. Okay. So now you can see we added it individually in this particular div that I'm using for. Okay. So I'm using it individually here, which if I should be doing it individually for every element, it will be repetition of code or styling, okay? So that's why I added it in the global selector here, so that anywhere in my code, I decided to add a padding and a border to an element, this box sizing will take effect. That's why we add it. Instead of adding it individually, one after the other, we add it at the global selector. So it will affect every HTML. Should I add border and padding in future? That's why we normally add it here, okay? So yeah, you can also, yeah, by choice, add your font family here. Now font family, like in our Word documents, okay? We had font family, that's the type of fonts we want to use, okay? You can choose anyone, but make sure it should be clear to the user so that the user will not strain their eyes to read out the contents of your web page, okay? So you can choose anyone. Now the reason for this much number of font family is, now Georgia is the first one. Now, in a situation whereby anybody that's opening your website and the computer or the device the person is using does not have Georgia, or does not have Georgia as a font family in their device, it will switch to this Times New Roman, okay? Then also, if it doesn't have this Times New Roman, it will switch to Times. If it still doesn't have it, it will still switch to serif, okay? And that's why you have more number of it instead of using only one. Okay, so it's kind of an option. If this one is not available in the user's device, that is the person using your website or opening your website. Okay. Now you can see these quotes inside here. This quote is used to bind a font family name that has space in them. Okay. They are one, this is a one family name, but it has space in it, so that the browser will not treat it as 3 different font families. That's why it comes with the quotation mark. I hope that's clear. So yeah, we have just like Victor asked, we can have padding left 3 pixel. Let me comment this out. 3 pixel. We can have padding top 5 pixel. We can have padding bottom 2 pixel. We can have padding right to be 7 pixel. Okay. Now I'm giving the whole corners different values. The left, the top, the bottom, and the right. Okay. So I'm giving it different values, right? You can also go about it like this. Okay. You can have 3 values. Now the 3 values, this is for top. The first one is for top. The middle one is for left and right. Then the last one is for bottom. Okay. The first one is for top. The middle one is for left and right. The last one is for bottom. You can have 2, which is obvious. The first one is top and bottom. This one is left and right. Okay. If you use one, it becomes the same thing all around. The one value. That's how it works. Same thing with margin. Sorry. Same thing with margin. We have margin top, margin bottom, margin left, margin right. Okay. The shorthand also margin, right? Then what is the difference between margin and padding? Now, margin and padding. Let's use our houses, for example. Yeah, our typical home here, it has a fencing and a building right inside, right? Then yeah, some of our houses, the building is not close to the fence inside, right? Our building is has space. For instance, where we park our cars, the car space. So the building is shifted from the fence. Now, inside the fence could be an element. Okay, let's take the fence for an element, right? Now, if you give it a padding, that padding is the space between the fence and the building. That is inside now. So the padding does with spacing inside the element. Okay. If it's inside the building itself, if you give it a padding inside, that means nothing stays close to the wall, like everything is shifted towards the center. Nothing is close to the wall. So like the fence now, I don't think, yeah, some of the, most of the houses, they are shifted out from the fence. So we have spaces. Yeah, like I said, where we park our cars. So that's padding inside. Padding has to do with spacing inside. That's padding. Now, margin has to do with, if you give your fencing now, that is an element. Okay, the fence now is an element. Okay, if you give it a margin, that means your neighbor's fence, your neighbor will have a different fence from yours, and there will be space, right? You guys will not have the same fence. So you're creating a space outside that fence now. So margin does with spacing outside. So if you give your the fencing in your house, if you give it a margin, that means your neighbors will have different fences on their own. Yes, and have spaces. Probably you could walk between your own fence and your neighbor's fence. But if there's no margin, you guys will be using one fence. I don't know if that makes sense. Please let me know. I'm just trying to use something you can relate to easily. So please indicate if the explanation is clear, the difference between padding and margin. Okay, like I said, padding is for adding a space inside an element. Yes, exactly, Joshua. Padding is the space you're adding inside the elements, while margin is outside the elements. I used our houses as an instance. Okay, like those of us living in a fenced house. Okay, in a fenced house. There you have fences and gates in our houses. Okay. Now, most of our houses is not really the building is not really close to the fence. Okay, it's shifted out from the fence. Some of our houses you can walk around it, right? We park our cars, so we have spaces. The building is kind of shifted outside, shifted out from the fence. Okay, so that's a padding because we are adding a space inside our fence, right? That's why you see some people having a large compound. They can park like 10 cars and yeah, you can walk around it. So they have a good number of padding inside, okay? And yeah, like the place I live, I have two neighbors with common fence, like we are using one fence, right? They're using one fence. Now, if we should add a margin in my fence, that means the neighbor has to create their own fence, then shift out a little, okay? There'll be space between our fence and the neighbor's fence. Now I'm adding a margin, which will be outside, I'm using the fencing now as an element. The element could be a div, okay? It could be a p tag or any element or any tag. I'm not using the fencing now as the element, okay? So if I should add a margin, it will make my neighbors to create their own fence. They will not be using our own fence again. Everybody will have their own fence, okay? And there will be space whereby people can walk through. Okay, so that's the difference between margin and padding. So padding deals with spaces inside, while margin deals with spaces outside the element. Yeah. So okay. And we have yeah, because we added a border, we use them solid here. Solid makes it look like this. Okay. Now we could make it like this border I said is a shorthand. Okay. You have We have border color, which is this green. We have border style, which is this dotted dotted we used here. Okay, and this is the size of the border. Okay, so we're using a shorthand. Right. So to comment this out, we have border style, right? That's the second value. Yeah, you have the border style. So we have dashed, we have dotted, we have double, we have okay. Let's use this dashed. Then we have border color, which is green. Okay. So you have dashed border color. We have the dotted. I used it before, which is dotted. So yeah, so you can choose any type of border you want. So but we are using the shorthand here. You can see the size, the style, and the color. That's what we are using. So yeah, back to our portfolio site. So yeah, these the styling for the global selector. Okay. So if you go to our browser, go back. Yeah. So you still have this. So what might change is the fonts.
Who is talking? Somebody talking. Where?
That could be, yeah, that's what will change. Now, like yeah. So it's recommended when you're styling your HTML documents, you start from the top to bottom. The top now from here to the bottom. Okay. Then another recommended practice is styling global elements at the very top. When I mean global now, had it been I want to give every H1 in my document, I want to give them a styling. I will first of all style it here. Okay, style the H1. So every H1 in my document, we have that styling. All right. Maybe if I want to style my section, I have about more than 3 sections in my HTML. So it's also a good practice to come here and style the section because yeah, it's going to affect many elements as the listing of section, right? So with that, I'm going to style my section. Now I'm selecting it by the tag name. I've explained it before. I'm selecting the section by the tag name. And even I wanted, I would have given it a class of section, but because I just want to use the tag name. Okay, you as well can try to give it classes, the sections, giving it the same class name of section, right? And select it by the class name. So now we are selecting by the tag name. So I want all my sections to have this padding, default padding of now I'm using a shorthand. Okay. So we have this. We have this. Remember, I targeted the section. This one at the top is not among the section. Okay, so every section has that padding now, except my images, which is overflowing. Is overflowing by the right, which is yes, if I can remember my mathematics well, the right or the vertical, right? Sorry, the horizontal is X and the vertical is Y. So it's overflowing like this, which is horizontal, right? So is X. We'll fix that too. So now I've given every of my section, I've given it a default styling now. Okay, so it looks like this. So I use this to achieve that. Remember, this is a shorthand. The top and bottom and left and right. That's for 2 values, right? So you can go on and yeah, like I said, this issue is called overflow. So the elements are overflowing to the right. They are overflowing to the right. Okay. So it can also be fixed in your code. So after my global, not global now, sorry. After styling my, you can call it general styling, which is this selection. Okay. So I use this section. So because of most of the elements has a section tag, so that's why I used it here. Then apart from the first thing we have here is the header. Okay. First thing we have here is the header. So I get the header because I didn't give it a class name. So I target it with the tag name. Like I said, we have so many properties. We have the color property in CSS, which colors the contents of your elements. When I mean contents now, this Moshe, this home, this about, these services. Okay, that's where the color affects. It affects the content. And now we have okay, we'll come back to the color. So yeah, let's use sorry, the white. Okay. Now we have a width of 100%. Now this header now is using the width of the body because the body is the immediate parent element. So whichever size is the body, I want the header to use the 100% of it. If you like, let it be 2 pixels or 5 pixels, but I want it to use that whole width. Okay. So that's where this comes in. Then I want it to have a padding of 15 pixel top and bottom, then 200 pixel of right and left. It's not showing because the color is white. So we need to give it a background color. Background color of black. So it's showing. Okay. So we have this called we have a property called display with a value of flex. Okay. We'll come back to this flex properly, but what flex does is it makes the elements have a one dimensional display. The flex by default creates makes the elements stay in columns. Okay, it makes it stay in columns. Now, what do you mean by columns now? Now, this the links are beside the motion, though they don't have space. Okay. So you have columns and rows, right? You have columns and rows. Now, columns are the vertical alignment of items. Let's assume in a school now, you have you ask the year ones to line up, you ask the year two to line up, you ask the year three to line up. Okay. So now we've created columns. We've created columns, right? You have the column for the year one, you have the column for the year two, you have the column for the year three. Yes, they are queuing up in a line. Then if you want to create a row, like everybody will collapse on a straight line facing you, right? Okay, let me better still demonstrate with this. So what flex does now? Flex tries to Like I said, the flex creates the columns for it. Okay, it makes it to be flexible. It creates flexible box. Okay, that's what the display flex does. It makes the items before this flex. This item we are stacking under each other, right? They list these two items now, the H1 and the nerve. Okay, they are stacking under each other, right? So they are, by default, they are in 2 rows now, by default, because this one is 1 row, this one is another row, okay? But I want it to be, I want to display it flex, making it to show in columns. So this Moshe here should be on its own, which is a column. This one should create another column, okay? So that's what the flex does. It creates a column-like element, making it to be flexible. Okay, making it to be flexible. So it shows like this. Now, when you flex items, it comes with another property called justify content. Okay. Now we have center, we have end, we have space around, we have space between. Okay. If you make it end, it goes to the end, right? It goes to the end. If you make it center, it comes to the center. Okay. So, but you want to separate Paul from Barnabas, right? You want this Moshe to be here and this nav links to be here, right? So what we use is the value of space between. So one space between them. When you say space around now, it creates space around them, right? When you say evenly, it shares the space available evenly with them, right? So we are using the space between now. So we separated Paul from Barnabas, right? So this one is here, this one is here. So yeah, we are getting to having a typical navigation link. So what we can add is another property called align items. I want it to be at the center, right? I want it to be at the center. Now, you can also add this transition. If we are familiar with our PowerPoints, we should know what transition is. Just kind of the mode is appearing, and when you reload, how it appears. Okay, so want it to appear with ease. So just be delayed with by 5 seconds. Sorry. So we have ease, we have ease in, we have ease in and out, we have ease out. We just want ease, which is yeah. So that's what the transition does. Now, if we look at this, our navigation, if we scroll down, it disappears. So imagine we are at the very last here. I want to like go to another link. You have to scroll up. which can be time consuming and tiring, okay? So you don't want to stress your users. You don't want to give them any reason not to visit your site again, right? So that's what we call positioning. Position. We have absolute, we have fixed, we have relative, we have static, we have sticky. Okay. So okay, let's not go into that first. Let's just have it this way first. We get back to positioning so we don't get confused. So yeah, now we start the header. Now next up in our HTML document, we have this. Okay, we have this. We're targeting the header and the other lists. Let's see what we have here. UL. Now don't forget, I'm getting this with I'm selecting it with the tag name. With the tag name, right? So full display flex again. Okay, you can see our this thing has changed. We've changed okay. Now I'm acknowledging this nav here. Okay. Now it has a tag name and a class. So I can as well use target it by the class. Okay, Jumi, we have the header tag. There's an order list here now. An ordered list, unordered lists here. Okay. So I'm targeting the header and the unordered list inside the header. The reason why we use this method is if there's any other unordered list in our documents, the browser will know that we are targeting the one inside the nav and the one inside the header. Okay. I can as well target only the UL, right? It will still give me the same thing. But imagine we have another UL in our documents, okay? It will affect it, which we don't want. So we want only to style the UL inside the nav that is inside the header. So that's why we are using this, okay? And the UL is the unordered list that holds the list items, right? That holds the list items. The list items now are the home, about, services, and contact us. So we displayed it to be flex. That's why it's looking like this. Okay, I talked about class selector and ID selectors. Okay. Our nav tag has a class name, right? So I can either select this nav tag by the tag name or the class name, whichever one I use it to work, right? If I should remove the dots and target it by the tag name, it will still give me the same thing, right? If I still target it by the class, which is the dots, yeah, I gave it the class of nav, which is the same name with the tag name. You can give it a class of nav bar. Okay. You can see because we don't have any class called nav, it has gone back to the way it is. Okay. If I come back here and give it nav bar, the class name we gave it will align well. It's flexed. Okay. Hope I answered the question. Okay. So next up, you can see our list items, how it's looking, and it's also still with the default styling. Okay, the default styling it has. So we want to change that. So yeah, you can as well copy this and yeah, paste. You want to target the list item. That is the li. Okay. So we target the header and the navbar class that is inside the nav tag, which is this one, and the UL and the li, like this. Please, let's try and mute. Is disturbing others, please. And the person mute, please. And the person mute, please. So yeah, targeting the list items, which is this one here. So we have the list style of we don't want it to have any list style, right? Because we are starting a list item, we don't want it to have any list style. Then those dots goes away. Then we want to add a padding to it so that it can have a breathing space. So we are adding a padding all around of 10 pixels. Okay. So it's having a space now. Right? It's having a space. Okay. Then because you have an anchor tag in one of the list items, you can also target it, li and a. And yes, we don't want any text decoration. The anchor tag comes with the default style, which is the underline. Okay, we don't want it. So we don't want any text decoration. And we can as well style the color to be white. Okay. So it's the same thing with others now. But the only thing, if you hover over it, you see that this one has a link in it, right? So our navigation is looking much like it. So now, okay. So that's about our navigation. Sorry, I forgot to add a comment here, which is also important. Okay. Adding a comment here, so we know the sections or the sections we are styling. Now let's briefly talk about texts. Okay. Talk about texts. Let's use Lauren. Okay. So let's go to our Lauren here. Okay. So the lorem is overflowing from our div. Okay. Over. No. Reading. Now, this is what happens here. The text that was overflowing, we were able to hide it with the overflow hidden. Okay. So we are no longer seeing those ones overflowing now. They are inside wherever they are. They are just hidden. So that's why it has the value of hidden, right? So yeah, now in text, in the text properties in CSS, it has the text comes with different text related properties. Okay. You could change, like I said before, the color affects the content, which is the text. Okay, which is the text or image or could be icon, the contents of the elements. The color affects it, right? So we could write a blue color here. Our text becomes blue. Then we could, okay. We could have text align. Okay, let me increase this width and height of 90. Okay. So when we say text align center, you can see the way it's looking. It's more like in our word editor. Yeah, aligning text. Okay. We have text decoration. The one of line through, which is this. We have that, we have overline, we have underline. Okay. you have underlined. And now we are dealing with the text relate properties and the related properties too. Then you can also do text transform. Now, if you use capitalize, it will capitalize each of the words, the first letter, it will capitalize it, okay? Lowercase, it should show throughout lowercase, right? Then uppercase should be uppercase throughout. So if you try to capitalize, you can see each word, the first letters are being capitalized, right? If you use uppercase, of course, is on lowercase by default. So if you use uppercase, yeah. Then we also have what we call text spacing. Text spacing. We have okay. The text shadow. Let's see how it looks like. So the text shadow adds yeah, it adds some shadow to it. So that's yeah, that's some of the text related some of the text related properties we could use. Okay. As a text. Now you see how we you see what the overflow does in our in the text. Okay. Now we also have the text, and we also have the font properties, which we'll be doing tomorrow. So today we just achieved this first. Okay. So now it's looking like a navigation bar, just like in other websites we do visit. Okay. So now we have this. Okay. We have this now. I think the header is done. The next one will be the main tag. Okay, which we'll be doing tomorrow. So we start with the main tag. So I'm putting a comment here so that even if I visit it in the next 2 or 3 months, I will not be confused. Once I scroll down, I will know exactly where the styling started for each section or elements. Okay, just like the header elements now. This is where it started and this is where it's going to end. Yeah, you can as well add the end or rather and you can add it like this. Okay, it's all about choice. You can add it like this. So once you're scrolling past your code, the next letter feature, you will not be confused about where you styled a particular element or section. So that's the one of the reasons why we use comments. Okay, you can as well add the date. Add the date you wrote this code. Okay, it's 5th. Add the date. Okay, or you can, yeah. Comments are just used for your own benefits and whoever is visiting your code base, right? So yeah, we are able to achieve this today. So by tomorrow, we should get done with these parts. Okay, that is the main. The main, which is going to be interesting, right? Because we are going to do some animations. We are going to do some animations in the main tag. Oh yes, sorry. Sorry for taking you guys back to the ancient of days. Sorry for taking you back. It's 2022. Yeah, sorry for taking you back. It's 2022. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions so far pertaining this. I promise you it's going to be more interesting by tomorrow. Yeah, your question, Jumi, is going to be more interesting by tomorrow. And yeah, in subsequent classes, because we've entered the part where we beautify our web page and make it look very nice and lovely. And yeah, by tomorrow, we'll be adding an animation here, which we'll be seeing tomorrow. Okay, was
Drop it in the chat so that Much can answer it.
yeah, please drop your questions so we can attend to it. Yes, it will come up. Now it's hidden because the container where it's residing it's kind of smaller for it, right? But if you resize the container, or yeah, if you resize the container or the div where it's residing, you will see the text, right? But it's hidden because the space cannot contain it. That's why you cannot see it. But if you resize, you will see it. Yeah, it will come up. Okay, yeah. This, let me show you what it will be looking like. This is what it should be looking like. This is what we are aiming for, right? Yeah, this is what we are aiming for. So it's just a basic portfolio site. Just a basic portfolio site, right? So this is what we're aiming for. By tomorrow, we'll be styling, we'll be building this, or we'll be coding this, right? This little animation we have here. So yeah. So this is our ugly one first. It's ugly for now, so we still look into it and make it look like the other one, right? Now, yes, the assignment I gave us, what I asked is for us to add the form tag at the appropriate place, right? So this is what I asked to do. So this is where the form should be. Okay. We have this div housing the input. The input is a form element. Okay. The text area is also part of the elements. So this is the way, this is where it should be. This is where it should be, right? Yeah, I just wanted a screenshot. There was no point submitting your whole code since it's just this section you're adding it to. Okay, that's why I requested for a screenshot. So this is what I wanted you guys to do. Okay. So yeah. So I don't know, is there any question? No. The assignment was to add the form tag in the appropriate place. In our last class, we finished up this HTML now. So we had these inputs inside a div, okay, without this form tag. So I asked us to add this form tag at the appropriate place. So not really building a form. The one we built a form should be the second assignment. Okay, Daniel, I wouldn't know why that would happen. Okay. So yeah, the form we built was should be the second assignment. Yeah, that should be where we built a form. Oh, okay. So yeah. No, this was the last assignment now. After we finished up this we had 2 assignments before. Okay. This one is just the last class we had. We finished up this, okay, and I asked you guys to add this form. We added the attributes in this very document. These classes, yeah. That's what we did in our last lectures now. Okay, so I said this form is missing here, that we should add it at the appropriate place, right? So requested for a screenshot, just adding it. The very first assignment we had was the one of the goose stuff, the rounded image with some text. That was the first assignment. The second one was to build a form. It's so small mini form, right? A small mini form. That was what we were asked to build, okay? Then this one is to add a form tag to the appropriate place, which I screenshotted this section and sent it to the Slack channel. There was a link provided for this one I sent out, sure. Okay. So, okay, is there any question so far for this the lectures today?
The submission link will be provided later on.
Yeah, it was 3 assignments. No, none for today. Okay, it will be by tomorrow. We'll give assignment.
On today. About the maybe you just got it. Okay, so I think that is the end of the class, Mosh.
Yes, that should be.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. I don't know, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, just type in the chat box that, yeah, I can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Boss Chima, is there any other question? I think this is the end of the class, right?
I don't know if they have any other question, but I'm done with today's class.
Okay, I think someone has a question. Someone said he has a question. Okay, go ahead with your question. Okay, you prefer to speak. All right, so just unmute yourself and then say what your question is, okay?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Please, my question is not based on this particular class. That was on my question is based on the last assignment given. I don't actually get what he said. Do you mean that we should attach that particular quotes in the piece, that is in the screenshot he made, attach it to the last place he stopped during the class? Then we screenshot the display when we run it.
Okay. Now, this is what I said. Okay. The last time we gave this particular document attributes. The classes, the classes it has, the IDs. We gave it all the attributes required, right? And before then, there was no form tag here. And I said, in your own code, you attach this form tag to the appropriate place, which I have done here. Then you screenshot that your code and submit. Okay, that was what I meant. You, inside your own code, you add this form tag at the appropriate place. Then you do a screenshot and submit so that I will know the place you added it, whether it's the appropriate place or another place. That's what I meant. I don't know if that is clear, Joshua. Okay. So, Victor, you are raising your hand.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay. Actually, I was aware that we were given two assignments. The first assignment was that goods stuff that has to do with restaurant and all those stuff. Then they gave us a link which we submitted it. So the second assignment was also given to us. That's to build a form like wherever you put like first name, password, text area, and all those stuff. Yeah. Which then I asked at the group channel, that's the Slack channel. Yeah. So they were like, no link to submit that assignment yet. So later I knew you sent a screenshot informing us that we should put the appropriate tag of the form, this thing, that form's tag on our form listing assignment. So then I had to put the form tag. Actually, I put the form tag. Then what I sent as my second assignment was the screenshot of my site. Are you getting my point? Like the screenshot of the site, not only the screenshot of the Visual Code Studio, as I sent the screenshot of my website at the Google Play. That's the Google the
Chrome.
Google Chrome account.
Yeah.
When you do the website, the page, the display will show you there. I sent the screenshot of the display as my second assignment. So now it might be due to that we didn't get the message clearly. I get my point now. If that we got the message clearly, it could be a different ball game now, because so far so good. It's just 2 links that was available. And the first link, I submitted only the first assignment, which is that building about the restaurant stuff. Then the second link, I sent the screenshot of my Google Chrome, having the form, where we can submit our form. That's our username, register with us after our username, our password, our text area, and all those stuff. That was what I said. So now the screenshot, I didn't send this screenshot of this particular visual code indicating us to put the form at the appropriate place. So I don't know if you can clarify us, so I will know how we do all this stuff right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, okay, sorry for the mix-up, but I think the 3 links were dropped. Okay, the first assignment, like you said, is the Goose assignment, yeah, which was submitted with the first link. And the second one was to build just a mini form with the first name and email, text area, and button. Okay, if we are to yeah, some of you guys submitted, okay, which they say the link was provided too. Oh, really? Okay. So, but this very assignment was just this screenshot, which I indicated, not the screenshot of where you added this form. I just needed to see the appropriate addition you did in your own code, not really the output on your browser, right? Okay, yeah, I want to apologize for the mix-up. Yeah, seems a lot of you guys didn't really understand or didn't get the link, right? So I want to apologize for that. Okay. So I don't know if
Good evening, sir.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir Mosh. Yeah, mom. Is also relating to the assignment. So I want to know if you are going to provide another link for us, because on the Slack channel, there's only 2 links that have been sent so far. For the first assignment, and Ms. Goodness also sent another link for second assignment. So maybe you provide a 3rd link so we can submit the one we have not submitted. Because for my second one, I submitted the screenshot of my Chrome browser for the form you asked us to create. So that was what I sent for the second. So maybe the 3rd one, you provide us a link so I can, okay, you've even done it already. For this 3rd assignment, this one that is on your screen now.
Okay. But you
Yes,
know,
sir.
it's due for, it's due today. But anyways, we'll clarify those things in the Slack channel, okay? I think, yeah, Ms. Goodness, we clarify us, okay, in the Slack channel.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, my works, like when I saw the this form that you said put it in the exact area it's supposed to be, I was like, okay, maybe you are pointing to the screenshot of the form that you sent. I never knew it was a different assignment altogether. So that was why the only thing I did was I recreated that form. I made sure that my code was into a form tag. So I never knew we had to screenshot the form tag inside our main portfolio website and send. I think the communication wasn't okay, like it wasn't clarifying.
Okay. Okay, thanks you for that. And I apologize for that if I wasn't clear enough. Okay.
Okay,
I
thank you,
apologize
sir.
for that. Yes. So I don't know, is there any other question regarding our lectures or any other thing?
Yes, I have a question. Just like me in person, I just want my own my own site to look like exactly your own.
Okay.
And the pictures you have were actually different from the ones I have in my gallery. And I requested for you to send me some the last time, but they were not exactly the same with this one that is in the portfolio website.
There's only the same thing now.
No, but I'm seeing somebody pressing phone in this one, but the other one was people playing basketball.
Okay. Don't worry. I will resend it. Maybe this one. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Joshua, the global selector. Like I said before, each element here or each tag comes with a default styling. It comes with a default margin and padding. Had it been you were early enough, you would have seen the way it was looking. Okay, the way it was looking. Okay, I can quickly do something here. So, yeah, they have added some padding, yeah. To, yeah, basically it comes with default padding and margin every HTML tag, okay? And we found out that if we add a padding to an element, let's say the element came with a default margin of 10 pixels, right? If you then add a margin of 10 pixels to that same element, it will become 20, right? Which is not what we want. So for us to give it the exact, or for it to take up the exact value we give it, we use this global selector, which is the asterisk. Now this asterisk selects every HTML tag in our document, right? Instead of coming here and giving it a margin of 0, right? It selects all of them here and give it a default margin and padding of 0. So it removes every margin and padding that comes with every tag. So this asterisk selects every HTML tag we have. The div, the history, the form, the input, every tag. It removes the default margin and padding it came with, okay? And this box sizing, yeah, I explained it too. So this global selector, whatever we apply here applies to every HTML. That's what the global selector does, okay? So I don't know if I answered you well, Joshua. Victor, you are raising your hand. Can you hear me, Victor? So I don't know if there's any other question you can ask now. Okay.
So, good evening, guys. In the absence of no question, I would like to appreciate our mentor on our facilitator for today, my boss Chima. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your teachings.
Yeah, thank you.
Your teachings. So I think this, we have to call it a day. If you have any other question, we can just share it on the Slack channel. You can share it on the Slack channel. If you have any other question, you can share it on the Slack channel. I think there's a channel for that. So we'll call it a day. Please, let's do our boss Tima, there's no assignment today, right?
I know there's none for today.
Okay. All right, now guys, thanks for attending.
Yeah, thank you all for attending the class. Please keep up the commitment. Yeah, like I said, the next class will be much interesting and exciting, okay? Because we are getting into the exciting parts already. So please keep the commitment. Keep it 100%, please, okay? It can only get better. It can only get better. So see you guys tomorrow, okay? Vincent is not going to be hard, don't worry. All right, thank you guys. See you tomorrow.
All right, now guys, see everyone tomorrow. Bye.